Okay, in this tutorial we're going to look at range names. So naming certain cells or particular cells appropriately, so that way it makes it easier for you to read formulas or understand what the formula is representing. So we're going to look at here. At the moment, this formula to work out the unit, basically the total of unit price and quantity, the formula is D18 times E18. So if we wanted to know, if we just imagine we didn't know, we didn't look at that. The first thing we did, we looked at this formula and it said D18 E18. By just looking at the formula, we wouldn't know what that is. So what we'd do is go to D18, and we'd find out D18 is a quantity, and then go to E18, and we find out E18 is unit price. So it slightly takes a bit longer time. However, if we range named our formula, our columns or cells, it would make life easier to enter the formula. So let's look at an example. First thing, what we're going to do is highlight this column. Okay, so this whole range, so this section here, from the first one to the end, this whole yellow section is a quantity column. So any of these cells would represent the quantity. So what we'll do, go up here on the name box, and we'll call that QTY, quantity. Okay, so now this section here, so on the whole of the yellow section, if you see, it's called quantity. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with unit price. Okay, highlight all the cells, call it unit price. Notice that in Excel you cannot have spaces between range names. Okay, so it has to be together. So unit, not price. If you don't want to do it like that, you want to separate the two words, what you can do is unit underscore price. Okay, so unit underscore price. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So I'm going to call mine unit price. Now what happens is when I enter the formula, okay, so equals, what do we call it? Equals quantity, so I call it QT, and if you notice, if it recognizes the range name that you're given, it will appear here, QTY times by unit price, double click that, and press enter. Okay, so now the formula's worked, it's in quantity times unit price. So what that does now is basically, if you by just reading the formula, you can explain or know what that formula is without having to work out what the cell reference is. So that's range naming. So you can do range name for multiple formulas. So here it's PID, which represents the product ID, and products as well. What's products? If we go to our products table, if we highlight all our products, okay. Oh, let's highlight the products, sorry. Okay, that should be called products, or isn't it? Wait, let's just see. Sorry, products is just this section here. So if we highlight that here, that's the product section, and there you go. That should be called product. So in the name box, that's called product. So that's the table it looks up at. So this is range naming, and how useful it is to use range names to make it easier to understand and create your formulas.